Ball teams, the Phillies and the Athletics. The Athletics, or the more prominent nicknamed A's, were led by a journeyman catcher, now turned manager, Connie Mack. Mack and the A's established themselves quickly in the major leagues, winning 6 pennants and 3 World Series by the year 1914. Financial problems forced the team to move west to Kansas City, where an insurance tycoon named Charles O. Finley took control of the team in 1960. Eventually, Mr. Finley headed the team more west to the city of Oakland, California, where green and gold have captured 4 World Series titles. And thanks to interleague play, a Philadelphia rivalry is renewed once again. It's the Phillies and the A's next.
Opening week presented by FTX, the official crypto exchange of Major League Baseball. Dallas Braden, Glenn Kuiper. We are at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The A's opening up this 2022 season. It's the A's and the Phillies. It's the start of a 3-game weekend series. It's also the start of a tough 10-game road trip to open up the season for the Athletics. Dallas, and there was time a couple months ago we weren't sure if there would be an opening day. It got pushed back about a week, but it's here, and everybody is certainly very excited about it, including you and I.
Yeah, the fact that we have baseball being played today, the fact that we had baseball being played yesterday kind of makes everything right for baseball fans across the country, and I couldn't be happier right now than to be in a booth overlooking a beautiful ballpark ready to get this 2022 season started.
Well, beautiful ballpark, beautiful weather as well. Let's check out the game time weather brought to you by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Open daily for spring break. Buy your wristband online and save $10. 62 degrees. The humidity, not an issue. It's a little breezy. There's some puffy white clouds in the sky, but considering the weather that we had yesterday here in Philadelphia, this is about as good as it's going to get. Yesterday, the A's, remember, arrived on Wednesday, but yesterday and Thursday it was raining hard all day and into the evening. And if you would have said, hey, the weather's going to be fine for opening day, I would have said, I don't know, because it's dumping, man. It was raining hard last night.
Yeah, it did not look good, and unfortunately the players who were at the ballpark trying to get a workout in had to do a lot of their work indoors. And I've got to believe that that just has to increase the appetite to come out swinging, trying to draw blood early. That's what I'm excited about.
Lineup cards being exchanged at home plate between the two managers. Mark Kotsay for the Athletics, his managerial debut, and Joe Girardi, the manager of the Philadelphia Phillies. The A's in the all gray roads, and the Phillies in those classic red pinstripes that they wear at home. Very sharp uniforms all the way around. Philly fanatics in the house. That is important.
Wearing his home green, and he looks as good as ever.
Yeah, he's pumping up the Phillies dugout. So he will entertain us all weekend long. We're looking forward to that. A's finished up spring training on Tuesday. The fanatic, well, he's never done. Check this out. This was his grand entrance. Not too shabby.
Stuck the landing.
Down goes the fanatic. See, we have been on the air for 2 minutes, and he's already made us laugh.
Well, I was going to say, he's already up to his old tricks. What an entrance. He had the Philly faithful on their feet.
So both managers heading back to the dugouts. We're expecting, obviously, a sellout today, but big crowds tomorrow and on Sunday as well. And you're going to hear that big crowd as the Phillies take the field for opening day here in 2022. So the Phillies take the field. Let's take a look at the starting lineup For your Oakland Athletics today, Tony Kemp's going to lead things off at second base. Billy McKinney will be the designated hitter. Sean Murphy coming off a terrific spring. He'll hit third and do the catching. Chad Pinderl is in left. Seth Brown is at first base. Elvis Andrus is the shortstop. Kevin Smith is your third baseman. He'll hit seventh. Stephen Piscotty hits eighth and plays right field. And Christian Pache hits ninth and plays center field.
And Kite Phillies fans have started themselves a nice tradition. Well, it's actually Mr. Aaron Nola who has started the tradition. 5 starts in a row now for Mr. Aaron Nola. And he now joins Hall of Famers Robin Roberts and Steve Carlton as just the third Philly only to make 5 consecutive opening day starts. Very deserving of that honor, and without a doubt the lead horse in this rotation for the Philadelphia Phillies.
Phillies. We're not opening in Oakland, but as the Oakland A's. A's will open up a week from Monday at home.
It's 54 years in Philadelphia, 55 now in Oakland.
How about that? And you know, you're going to have a good telecast when the first voice that is heard on your telecast is the late, great Harry Kalas.
You know it.
Oh, come on.
And how about the anthem?
We're off to a good start. The anthem was fabulous here. Very nice pregame opening day ceremonies here in Philadelphia. The Phillies players came out from the seats out in deep left center field. But all that is over with, and it is time for A's baseball as Tony Kemp steps in. Aaron Nola has finished up his warm-up tosses. And the crowd still filing in here in Philadelphia, but getting close to a packed house, and it will be probably by the second inning. Nola kicks, steals. First pitch of the season is a strike on the outside corner. So we're underway from Philadelphia.
Well, it is a beautiful day at the ballpark. A beautiful way to start the day for Mr. Aaron Nola. Strike one, the best pitch in baseball.
Full shift on for Tony Kemp. Bounces this one right side. That's Gene Segura, the second baseman, who flips to first. Tony Kemp is retired, out number 1. All right, here's the FTX umpire crew for this afternoon. Dan Iasonia is the crew chief, and he is the home plate umpire. Scott Berry's at first. Ben May from Racine, Wisconsin is at second, just saying. And Clint Vondrak is over at third. I had to throw that in. It's from my hometown.
Standard.
So one out for Billy McKinney, who's the designated hitter today. Nola pumps the first pitch in for a strike. With Billy McKinney stepping into the box, he is the 1,000th player in Oakland Athletics history.
How about that? A little full circle moment as well for Billy McKinney, who started the career off with the Oakland Athletics organization.
Number 1 draft pick way back in 2013. He's bounced around quite a bit, especially last year. Played with 3 different teams last year, but had a good spring. He can play first base. He can play outfield. More action for Segura. Handles a tough hop. So a couple of ground ball outs. So 2 away. Marcotte, his managerial debut today. We think he's going to do a great job. Marcotte is a sharp guy. He gets it. He was a very good player. And I think when it's all said and done, he may have a few trials and tribulations this year with a young team and a new team, but I think he's going to be a very good manager for a long time.
Well, Kai, growing pains are just part of the process, whether you're a first-year manager or you're a manager who has experience under the belt and it's a team that has a completely different look than maybe in years past. There's some feeling out on both sides of that, but I can tell you from firsthand experience as a teammate of Mark Kotze's, this is a guy who cares about putting the work in, cares about the preparation. And there's no question that these fellas are going to be prepared and ready to go to work day in, day out.
Count is 0-2 to Sean Murphy.
I get a look at that curveball from Aaron Nola.
It's a good one. Sinking fastball, and Murphy's able to lay off. Actually, I think it may have been a changeup. A lot of downward movement.
Yeah. Well, it's something to think about as we watch this ball game. Aaron Nola, see the side swing there from Murph, might have got away with one, but he likes that curveball and maybe a little bit of overexposure in the past. And typically, if you're a guy like Aaron Nola who has that wipeout weapon, you might try to wait to deploy that a little later in the ball game, trying to get a feel for some of your other offerings.
Murphy spoils a pretty good location pitch, fouls it back to keep the count 2-2. Nola is 28 years old. He's 6'2", 200 pounds, 7th year in the big leagues. He's got a career record of 67 and 49, so he's been a good pitcher for the Phillies for a while now.
Well, he's no slouch in his debut outings either. He's got a combined 2.76 ERA and a sub-1 whip.
There's that breaking ball, and he strikes out Murphy to end the top of the first. So when we come back,
the Phillies will face the ace, Frankie Montas.
You've got a camera on your phone. A camera.
Doing the catching. strike. Schwarber, Realmuto, and Harper, the top three in the Phillies lineup. Schwarber got a big contract. He was a free agent. And the Phillies scooped him up, 4 years, $79 million deal for Schwarber. Lots of power. Good on-base percentage. Strikes out a fair amount. But he has a chance to hit a ton of home runs in this ballpark.
Well, and that's the thing, is it is thunder at the top of the lineup for this Phillies ball club real early here with Schwarber.
2-1 delivery to Schwarber. Swing and a miss. There's Joe Girardi, third season in Philadelphia. Of course, the Yankees won a World Series title with Girardi as their manager. Philadelphia's not an easy place to manage.
No.
Schwarber hooks one foul. And that's not just baseball. It's being a head coach in any of the sports in Philadelphia. Fans are tough. Media's tough.
Passionate type.
That would be one word.
They're passionate, and I appreciate that. There's a level of expectation, not only from their club, but from the skipper as well.
Another 2-2. Way in the dirt. So full count.
Again, you got to be careful here. Schwarber, not your prototypical leadoff hitter. Not a guy that you can just kind of lay it in there and pitch to contact with. He can hurt you.
Schwarber drives one to right, hit a time. Wow.
Well, you can see where Murph's set up. He wants this fastball a little farther out. Unfortunately, it starts middle, and Schwarber lets the boys in the dugout know that he got it. And boy, did he get all of it.
He also got a curtain call. So first at bat as a member of the Phillies, he homers and gets a curtain call. So 1-0 Phillies early. So here's JT Realmuto. Now, Schwarber hit 32 home runs last year between Washington and Boston. And he gets the Phillies on the board here in the bottom of the first.
Well, I know we understand the firepower that's coming behind Kyle Schwarber. But when you think about getting off to a 1-0 start and having to deal with that kind of animal at the top of the lineup, it is not an easy task for opposing pitchers.
Also from Kyle Schwarber, it's his second career opening day home run.
2-1 to count to the catcher. Realmuto, one of the better catchers in the game. Was an all-star last year for the third time. This is a lineup full of all-stars.
When you look up and down this roster, between the 28 individuals on this roster, you've got 11 former all-stars.
Wow. Piscotty, Pache, and it's going to be Pache who grabs it in right center field, and that is out number one. And let's listen to the ovation for the reigning National League MVP, Bryce Harper.
Right fielder Bryce Harper.
good last year.
It's got to feel good hearing that three-letter chant on opening day.
Harper swings through that one. This is the 4th year of that huge contract that Bryce Harper has. 13-year, $330 million deal. Harper also won an MVP with the Washington Nationals back in 2015. So this MVP thing is nothing new to him.
As I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, just one of 15 players in Major League history to have 2 MVPs by his 29th birthday.
To Pinder and left. Pinder slides now a little bit to his left. So Harper is retired, and that's out number 2. And here's more thunder. Nick Castellanos. Another new Philadelphia Philly. Castellanos got a 5-year, $100 million deal. So the Phillies are going for it. They added Schwarber, Castellanos to an already decent lineup. They revamped their bullpen some.
Well, between the first 4 fellas in this lineup, I feel like they got the cheesesteaks covered.
Cheesesteaks are coming. Castellanos is the DH. He drives one down the left field line. It's foul, heads right into the luxury boxes. What's great about the fans here in Philly, especially with a huge crowd like this, they cheer, but they will boo just as loud as they cheer. Is there a better boo than the boos coming from the Philly fans?
Well, and especially when they're directed maybe at their own fans.
So Castellanos strikes out. A big start for Kyle Schwarber. He homers in his first at bat in a Phillies uniform. 1-0 Philadelphia.
Birthday breakfast in bed.
An understatement. Of course, we lost Ray last fall, but he's with us. And we wish he was in the booth broadcasting, but he's watching. He's got a big screen. Yeah, the days around the ballpark are just not quite the same without Foss being around. You see the banner up behind us. So He is literally watching over us.
Yes,
we have to be on our best behavior.
Yes, he is.
Pinder's retired. I tell you what, though, we're not gonna do it right now, but we're gonna show you something a little bit later on in the telecast. This is my 19th year of doing A's baseball, and the hardest I ever laughed during a broadcast was right here in Philadelphia, and it had to do with Ray. And we're going to show it. We're going to show it a little bit later on. And I tell you what, I mean, it's TV gold. And we're going to show it. And many of our viewers who have been with us for a long time, they'll remember it. And it'll give us a good laugh.
I can tell you, Foss was one of the most unintentional, hilarious individuals I've ever come across in my lifetime.
I mean, we've spent how many years now just laughing with Ray at just when he is saying something that's not even supposed to be funny, and he makes us laugh. So he's going to make us laugh again a little bit later on.
Yes, he will.
1-1 to Seth Brown. Seth Brown getting the start at first base. I think you're going to see kind of a revolving door, Dallas, between first base, an outfield spot, the DH spot, the third base, you know, and it's just the way it's going to be, and it may be that way all year unless somebody really grabs the spot. Segura, shallow right field, so Dean Segura has been busy. So 5 up, 5 down with 4 ground ball outs for Aaron Nola.
And 3 of them to the hit machine, Gene Segura. But I think when you look at this roster, that's something that you take away is the versatility of a lot of different guys on this club. So it's not just a Chad Pinder that you find moving around from a corner infield spot to any outfield spot. There's a few guys that have that capability.
Yeah, maybe more than a few.
Yes.
Right? 2 outs for Elvis Andrus. Opening days, nothing new for Elvis Andrus. This is his 14th year in the big leagues.
14 years at the highest level. Yeah. All 14 opening days started at shortstop.
Yeah, a fairly important position on the diamond.
Yeah, we call it a premium. A premium position.
Elvis will tell you it was a down year last year. He started real slow with the A's, so I wouldn't be surprised if he has a bounce back year in him. Grounded towards short. That's Didi Gregorius. So Aaron Nola sharp early, 6 up, 6 down. We head to the bottom of the second from Philadelphia. Phillies 1, A's nothing.
Baseball back in Oakland. Single game tickets are now on sale. So grab your friends or family and join us for some fun this season. Get your tickets for the biggest games, the fireworks, the drone light shows, giveaways, and much, much more. Tickets start at just $15, so please find your seats at athletics.com.
Bottom of the second inning, Rhys Hoskins leading things off. He follows the first pitch into the upper deck. And it was a fan with a Mike Schmidt light blue road jersey on who grabbed that foul ball. I know you like those powder blues.
Solid threads.
0-1 to Hoskins, followed by Gregorius and Segura. That's it. That's a beauty.
It is. It's not overly stated, but
you know who it is.
That's it. I tell you, Kipe, I know it's just the second inning here and the first at bat of that second inning, but early on, just kind of watching Frankie work, there's some intent behind his movement on the mound. And what I mean by that is he's not just kind of kicking dirt, swiping around. He's getting the ball, he's back up on the rubber, and he's ready to rock.
2-2 to Rhys Hoskins. 32 starts last year for Frankie Montas. Hoskins reaches for it, pokes it to right, drops fair. Hoskins is going to make a big turn at first. Piscotty throws behind him, and Hoskins just gets back. So good try by Piscotty. He saw Hoskins make that big turn, and Piscotty really had a real clear look at first base and a good angle to throw there, and he almost got him.
Well, that ball just kind of sliced off the bat of Rhys Hoskins, and as it hit, it checked up a bit, and that's when Rhys Hoskins hit the brakes and tried to retreat, and Piscotty, with that play unfolding in front of him, decided to fire a strike back into Brownie, who did a good job of corralling that baseball, trying to get the tag down, but the sack-town stinger, Rhys Hoskins, back in there safely for his first knock of the 2022 campaign.
So leadoff hit. Here's Didi Gregorius, and Gregorius hits a high fly ball toward the right field corner, and it's
into the seats. Didi Gregorius, veteran shortstop. It's his third year now in Philadelphia. Cincinnati, Arizona, some good years in New York, and now with the Phillies. Swings over top.
Well, not a bad double play combo up the middle there with Didi and Gene Segura behind him. You got Rhys Hoskins over at first base. And the youngster, Brian Stott, as well as Alec Baum over there at third base. So a solid infield group for the Phillies.
Blocked nicely by Murphy. Of course, rosters expanded to 28 for the month of April. The Phillies have 15 pitchers and 13 position players. The A's, on the other hand, 14 and 14. So there's no limit on pitchers at this point. There will be a limit of 13 pitchers when we get into the month of May and the rosters go back to 26.
Swing and a miss, struck him out. Second strikeout for Frankie Montas, and that was the good splitter.
A dirty one.
StatCast powered by Google Cloud. Some numbers for Frankie Montas and what he threw last year. Lots of sinkers, lots of four-seamers, but that splitter always seems to be the pitch that when he really needs a big strikeout, he goes to.
Well, and it's a pitch that he can double up on, even triple up on, and that's just because of the 96, 97-plus fastball we see at times. Those hitters have to gear up and try to cover that thing.
See the batting average?
Not good.
The Montas last year was third in the American League in innings pitched, fourth in ERA, and fourth in strikeouts. I mean, those are big-time numbers. Way outside, 2-0, make it 1-0. Gene Segura.
And for Frankie, you're talking about a guy who's gone out there and really put a career year together. Had a great second half, finished strong, and is just trying to build off of that.
Swing and a foul right at the plate by Segura. The AL Cy Young voting breakdown. Robbie Ray won it. Garrett Cole, Lance Lynn, Nate Eovaldi, Carlos Rodon, and then Frankie Montas. Robbie Ray moved teams. Carlos Rodon switched teams. Could be two. Elvis. Kemp. First base Brown, and it goes off Brown's glove, and it rolls down the right field line. But that's going to allow Segura to go to second.
So it's going to be an error in Dallas. That's a double play that absolutely has to be turned.
Yeah, an easy feed from Elvis to Tony Kemp. You'll watch Rhys Hoskins do a good job of going in hard here. But it looked like Seth Brown just ended up on one side of the back doing his best. Try to get to the other and get the ball that ended up running out of the hand of Tony Kemp. One type, especially against this kind of lineup. You do not want to give away outs.
Nope. Too much firepower. So Segura ends up at second base. The error goes to Kemp on the throw. So poor fielder's choice. And here is Bryson Stott, who's making his major league debut today. He was the first-round draft pick of the Phillies in 2019 from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. So some butterflies for this young man, I'm sure. Bryson Stott.
Well, this is the moment that you end up recalling and telling everybody, I didn't feel anything. I couldn't hear anything. I'm not sure I even saw anything.
Inside, and the count 1-1. Stott playing third base. He can also play middle infield. He was drafted as a middle infielder.
And I think spring he had definitely made the decision easy for the Phillies to say, you go ahead and pack your bags, fella. You're coming with us.
Two and one to count. Well, the Phillies also have a young third baseman, Alec Baum, who was also a #1 draft pick.
Yeah.
They're both on the roster. Baum has been in the big leagues for a couple years, but he has not really grabbed the job. He's had some issues defensively a little bit.
Well, you almost wonder if having both of them up here at the same time sort of lights a fire under one or the other.
Yep.
When you get somebody to really take charge of that corner spot.
Pache to his right makes the catch, and that'll do it. So the air does not hurt the Athletics or Frankie Montas. We're on to the third, 1-0 Phillies. Baseball is back now through April 11th. Customers can score free MLB TV at T-Mobile.com/MLB. Let's look at downtown Philadelphia. I would say a city with historical significance. Wouldn't you agree?
A little bit. Just a bit.
It's a nice city. 1-0 Phillies lead. Carl Schwarber led off the bottom of the first with a home run. So see if the A's can get something going. They've been quiet against Aaron Nola in the first couple innings. 6 up, 6 down. Kevin Smith, the first pitch he sees, skies one toward Harper. 1 out. So Smith is retired. And that will bring up Stephen Piscotty. If the name Nola sounds familiar, like, wait a minute, is it Nola? There is an Austin Nola, who's a catcher for the San Diego Padres. Austin Nola is the older brother of Aaron Nola. Austin, the catcher, is 32. Aaron is 28. They both went to LSU. They're from Louisiana, Baton Rouge. Stayed home and went to LSU. Not a bad place to play baseball.
Decent club.
So one brother a pitcher, one brother a catcher. I like it.
Well, you'd like to think by the time it's all said and done, we're going to have them on the same club at some point in time, right?
Some type of effort needs to be made. Phillies need a backup catcher.
They'll write the check.
1-2 the count to Stephen Piscotty. Great to see Piscotty healthy.
Now, you said it. For a guy who's kind of battled some ticky-tack injuries, just getting him back out there some regular playing time.
And that hits Piscotty. So Piscotty will be the A's first base runner, not how he had envisioned it. See where it got him. Maybe the back elbow?
Yeah, it's just a fastball running in right on that forearm.
So with 1 out, runner aboard, here's Christian Pache. Got a decent look at Pache in spring training. The defense is as advertised. And Mark Kotze was saying, you know what, listen, offensively, just hang with him. He's making some adjustments. Kotze said he liked the adjustments that Pache was making in spring training.
Well, that's
stand next to him too. He's a big kid.
Yeah, he's not a small individual.
It's a good 6'3" frame,
and he's going to continue to grow into that frame, Kite, and that's part of the adjustments I think that Kotze is talking about. You know, you're starting to learn some mechanical changes and also learn your body as you start to put on a little weight. And there's a lot that goes into settling in to an everyday opportunity.
Straightaway defense for Pache. And he takes the fastball just a touch outside. .27 pitches for Nola in the early going, so pitch count fairly low. A's need to put a little pressure on him.
Well, he's gotten some weak contact and some early ground ball outs.
Bounce to third, charged, Stott, second for 1 on the first, not quite in time. Pache beat out the throw, very close play at first.
See Stott come and get that ball and give it over to Segura. And he's busting it down the line. Appreciate the hustle.
So back to the top of the order, and Tony Kemp, who bounced out to second to open up the game. Stott, the only infielder on the left side for the Phillies. He's right even with the grass.
Outfield straight away. Hey, Dallas, you sit where we're sitting, and obviously it's the broadcast booth, so we have a terrific view. But as you look out at this ballpark, and it is very much a hitter's park, but it looks small.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Well, I was kind of noticing that during batting practice as well, and it might serve to tell you that it was the first 4 hitters in the Phillies lineup that were taking BP.
So you were impressed. This place is a hitter's park.
They'll make any ballpark look small, Kite, but yeah, it's got some funny dimensions to it. Nothing too out of the ordinary that we've seen from these newer ballparks, but it is not overly large.
Kept fouls it back. Citizens Bank Park. Let's take a look at how the outfield wall compares to the Coliseum. That's left field. So left field at the Coliseum, straightaway left is quite a bit bigger. And boy, look at how much deeper right field is at the Coliseum compared to Citizens Bank Park. Significantly deeper to straightaway right and straightaway left. So we love the comparison to the Coliseum. 1-2 now to Kemp. Citizens Bank Park opened in 2004, so been around a little while, but it's a beautiful ballpark. Capacity just a shade under 43,000.
And they are packed in here today.
It's part of the South Philly Sports Complex. The Eagles play right next door at Lincoln Financial Field, and also right here is the Wells Fargo Center, which is where the 76ers play. So it's all right next to each other, which is pretty cool. And also it's in the same spot that the old Veterans Stadium was, the old home of the Phillies.
See Nola checking over on Pache. And I had talked to Mark Kotze about as well, understanding that you have a certain level of athleticism here with all the versatility that we've talked about. Would we be seeing a different brand of offense, trying to move the game along a bit?
Kemp just got a piece of it. That's that good curveball from Nola.
There it is.
He really wraps it.
He sure does. Pull down on that bad boy. Trying to really rip it is what they say. Trying to rip that seam down. You can hear that pitch coming out of the hand, coming off the lace.
Pache runs. Ball's hit hard but foul. Eric Martin's the first base coach for the Athletics. Darren Bush over at third.
Pache looking to pick up another 90 feet here. Look, anytime you can create a little cat and mouse over there as the runner at first base. Close play on the tag.
That one a little bit closer.
Well, and you can see Rhys Hoskins. He really wants to sell Joe Girardi on the idea of maybe taking another look at this via replay.
And it looks like they might take a look at it. Nope. Joe says let's roll. That did look pretty close.
Scott Berry is the first base umpire. Maybe don't go to it this early in the game. Maybe that's part of the decision process. Pache not running. Ball tapped toward Hoskins. He's got it. He'll tag Kemp, and that will do it for the Athletics. They get a base runner. We're headed to the bottom of the third from Philadelphia with the Phillies leading 1-0.
One of the most exciting nights of the season. That's right, the Star Wars post-game light show. Don't miss a one-of-a-kind experience right there at the Coliseum. Friday, April 29th, the A's host the Cleveland Guardians, and fans are invited to stay for a post-game Star Wars light show presented by 811. Catch the A's game and stay after to see 250 drones light up in the sky above Mount Davis from the field. Tickets available at athletics.com. That's athletics.com.
Bottom of the third. Matt Vierling to lead things off for the Phillies. And then back to the top of the order, Schwarber and Realmuto. 1-0. Phillies lead on Schwarber's home run. Dallas, you had an interesting note on Frankie Montas and the opening day start situation.
Yeah, it's a point of pride for Frankie, as well as his countrymen as well. The only foreign-born pitcher in Oakland A's history, Kite, with multiple opening day starts. Before him, Ariel Prieto, back in '97, made an opening day start. But for Frankie, that means something, and it should be noted. So I just wanted to make sure that the folks at home could appreciate that as well.
Well, the guys in the pregame show mentioned it to you, and I thought it was pretty interesting. The last time the A's opened a season on the road was 2009 in Anaheim, and you were the starting pitcher, so you know what it's like to have an opening day start.
Yeah, and it is. It's a point of pride, and that's something that, you know, when I talk about the long and storied career that I had, it's one of those things where you've done a little bit of everything, and it means a lot to be the guy that gets your team going for the season, and it's something you can kind of hang your hat on later in life.
Piscotty hustling back. Piscotty makes a nice catch. He got a good jump going backwards, and he makes the catch. Well, you know what? You pitched well that night in Anaheim. The team didn't get you any runs.
Well, you know, it happens. It happens.
This is the first inning, and this is what Kyle Schwarber did, and he hit this one a long way.
Yeah, a great swing from the left-hander, and he knew it. And so did the Philly fanatics.
0-1 to Schwarber.
Okay, just to give you an idea of what kind of horsepower you're dealing with here at the top of the lineup in this leadoff spot, Schwarber last year batted leadoff 27 times. In his slash line, he had 297, 385 on base, 832 slug. And that's an OPS of over 1,200. And that's in just 117 plate appearances.
Well, when he was with the Nationals, and I don't recall exactly how many games he homered in a row, but
it felt like a month.
But he homered like 15 times in a month, something like that.
It was.
And then he got traded.
Yeah, it was silly. It was just remarkable. You turn the TV on, anticipating that Kyle Schwarber home run highlight.
2-2 now to Schwarber. Schwarber's 29 years old. He was the 4th pick in the 2014 draft by the Chicago Cubs out of Indiana University. It's a basketball school.
Yeah, he was the prize bull there for Theo Epstein for a long time. Teams would come calling, asking about Kyle Schwarber. Hands off. Hands off.
Their guy.
It's the fanatic. It's making somebody's day.
Three and 2 to Schwarber. Not close. So Schwarber with the walk. I was thinking about the Phillies and the fact that in the offseason they wanted to improve their offense a little bit. And they signed Kyle Schwarber and Nick Castellanos. Today, Schwarber's playing left field. Castellanos is DH. Of course, it's a universal designated hitter now, so everybody's got it. It got me to thinking, I wonder if there wasn't a DH in the National League now, if the Phillies would have signed both those guys. And I'm not saying that they're not capable defenders now. I'm talking about 2-3 years from now. Because they're there to hit.
Right.
And I think Schwarber's going to DH some and Castellanos going to play the outfield and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Because
Absolutely.
You're spending a lot of money, and would you have spent that much money on both guys if you didn't have the DH spot to put one of them in?
Right, because you got to consider the fact that you're probably comfortable enough with one of them being out there with regularity.
But not both of them. And you have Harper.
Right. So you take what you get defensively, understanding that the payoff, the benefit, is having both of them in the lineup and allowing their bat to do what it does.
Just don't know if that happens if there is not a DH in the National League now. And I think that, as you saw in the offseason, there was some signings that I think had the DH in mind, maybe not right now, but maybe 2-3 years from now.
Sure. And I don't know that this was a futuristic move, if you will, but I don't know that there's an Albert Pujols in St. Louis if we don't have that universal DH. As great of a story as it is.
That's going to be a base hit right center field. Schwarber, ground second. He's going to dig for third. So a pretty nice job of hitting by JT Realmuto. First and third, and one out for the Phillies. Realmuto, well, the star power, I don't want to say gets overlooked, but he's such a good hitter. And the fact that he's hitting in the 2-hole, it tells you a lot.
That's it. Well, it's a professional approach that he brings to the top of the lineup for Joe Girardi and this Philly ball club. Pitch away, he's got a couple options. I could try to get underneath this ball and lift it, really try to do some damage. Or to your point, Kai, understand that I've got guys behind me that if I can just continue to keep this line moving, create a little action here. We got first to third. Now you've got to deal with Bryce Harper, Castellanos behind him, Hoskins behind him. It becomes turbulent very quickly.
Harper hit a fly ball to left field in the first inning. And he goes after the first pitch. Skies one foul into the third deck. Harper in that MVP season last year. 101 runs scored, 42 doubles, 35 homers, 100 walks, an OPS of 1,044.
And not to mention a .330 batting average with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, I think he got pitched around a lot when there was guys in scoring position. Kept his RBI total down maybe a little bit. Finished with 84 RBI. One and one to count to Bryce Harper.
The addition of Castellanos is what makes these kind of at-bats all the more high leverage.
Base hit left center field. Barber will score. Realmuto, he goes to third. Harper digging for second, and he is out. Harper looks into the dugout. He says, I think I was safe. And just from the view, it almost looked like Kemp's tag was a little high. And Harper's not moving.
Well, you see Pache coming over. Makes a great throw, a strong throw.
Harper's convinced that he is safe, and he is not moving from second base.
Well, and I think what Harper might be trying to argue here is that he got his foot in under the tag, and the tag was applied on the knee.
Well, this is a big call. This could be the second out of the inning, or it is the second out of the inning at this point. We're gonna hear from the umpires here for the first time in this game.
How about that?
I think he's safe.
Oh, he might have a point. Unless, of course, they see something back in New York where the glove might have caught the toe of the cleat of Bryce Harper. If that isn't the case, however, Kite, Bryce Harper might not be leaving second base. Let's see if we can. Oh, well, you see the strand of Tony Kemp's glove?
I did see that.
The cleat hit the strand of Tony Kemp's glove. Whether or not they're going to give him that remains to be seen.
But I'll tell you what, in all of the replays we're seeing, it was a terrible slide by Harper. I don't think he was going to slide, and he's lucky he didn't get hurt.
Yeah, well, because I think it was an unexpected play from Pache in center field, who made an incredible throw. Nice one-hop strike.
And he slid very late, and that's how guys really get hurt. Well, that did not look good.
Yeah, and I think it was because he was trying to get that foot under where he believed Tony Kemp was going to be applying the tag.
Watch this. Watch the slide. It's very funky.
The ball on the field is overturned. The runner is safe.
So the call is overturned. We could not really hear the umpire, and the reason we couldn't hear him is not anything that he wasn't doing. The crowd just cheered very loud as they said that he was called safe after replay. So call overturned, and it'll be a double, and that's a big call.
Yeah, and lost in all that is the hustle from Realmuto going first to third. This catcher's legs feeling pretty good on opening day.
So now the infield has to come in for Castellanos. 2-0 Phillies here in the bottom of the third.
Castellanos takes the close pitch, called the ball. Montas looking back in at Dan Iasonia, the home plate umpire. Outfield swung toward right center. Pinder way off the line in left. Pinder's playing in left center. And Castellanos, teams playing that way, and we have seen him over the years. He's got excellent power to right field.
Sure does. Not afraid to let the ball travel. Right now, runners on second and third, less than 2 outs. We'd love to hit something hard, up in the air.
Swing and a miss.
It's a pretty good job here by Frankie Montas going back to that slider. He wasn't able to get the call on first pitch. Instead of giving in 2-0, giving a big bopper like Castellanos a fastball to feast on.
So the count now even 2-2. Montas can go for the strikeout. He's got 2 strikeouts in the game. He's walked 1. And that 1 walk was to Schwarber this inning with 1 out, and it ended up costing Frankie Montas. Here's your hits by direction. So for a big power hitter like Castellanos, he covers all areas pretty well.
Yeah, that's spraying it a little. We'll take that.
Roll foul. I remember even Castellanos when he was with the Tigers. You'd see him hit balls out at Comerica Park the other way, and that's a big ballpark.
Well, and you think about the tutelage he was under there with a guy like Miggy. You got Miguel Cabrera, the greatest right-handed hitter of my lifetime. And then you had J.D. Martinez as well. Let's not forget.
Yep.
A couple of guys who know a thing or two about letting the ball travel and shooting it the other way.
Count stays 2-2. Good battle here, and a kind of a pivotal point in this game. You just don't want it to get to 3-4, 5-0.
Well, Frankie's got Castellanos right now in swing mode. So he might be able to expand just a touch and make his pitch. If so, there's a good chance he could get Castellanos swinging here.
Strike 3 called. Big pitch by Montas. Castellanos knew it. So a huge second out.
Well, you think Castellanos was looking for a wrinkle here? 97 out of third. Just no chance for Castellanos to pull the trigger.
That may be a perfect pitch.
Well, it doesn't get much better than that, partner.
Little tail to it.
That's it. Started away, bring it back over. Again, it wasn't painted on the black, but I think that's just a matter of Frankie being 1 pitch ahead.
2 outs. Here's Hoskins. Hoskins had a base hit in the second inning. 27 home runs last year for Hoskins. Unfortunately, injuries got him late in the year. Toward right, and that's going to be a hit. Realmuto scores. Harper scores. Hoskins to second. He's in there, and it's 4-0 Phillies. So Hoskins, a 2-out, 2-run single, and that would really hurt.
Well, and Rhys Hoskins just hitting it where it's pitched. Send this thing out to right field.
And Harper with a gigantic lead at second was going to score no problem. Unfortunately, that ball doesn't make it to the cutoff man, and that allows Rhys Hoskins to cruise on into second base.
Yeah, there is no way you're going to throw out Bryce Harper.
No. Not with 2 outs, not with that lead.
But I just think over the course of this season, Dallas, it's little things like that. Like earlier in the game, the A's did not turn a double play. It didn't hurt them. But over the course of a season, if the A's are going to have any success this year, those are small things that they have to do correctly.
Yep.
They just don't have a margin for error.
No, it's just fundamentals and doing the little things. And at times, to your point, when you look up at the end of the season, it can be who executed those little things the most that can be that small separating factor between the season you want to have and the season you should have had.
So Hoskins now at second, 3 runs in. As Didi Gregorius hits, and that's a base hit. Goes the other way. Hoskins will come in and score, and now it's 5-0. So Gregorius rolled one right up the middle.
Right now what you're seeing is just a ton of unselfish at-bats from this Philly lineup. Watching Rhys Hoskins shoot the ball the other way. There's Hoskins coming around to score.
But think about this, Dallas. As Gene Segura steps up. In this inning, Realmuto base hit the other way. Harper double the other way. Hoskins base hit the other way. Gregorius base hit up the middle the other way. All after a walk.
And what that tells you is that this lineup, while they're probably anxious, they're doing a great job of staying patient and letting the ball travel instead of finding themselves out front really trying to do more than they should. And it's paid off.
Nice block by Murphy. So 4 runs on 4 hits and a walk for the Phillies here in the third.
Murph squaring up.
With 64 pitches for Frankie.
You figure Frankie probably somewhere around the 90, maybe 100 pitch count mark. Probably closer to 90 first start out of the gate.
So now the count 1-2. And Frankie's got a little anger behind the pitches right now. There is action now out in the A's bullpen. Both bullpens way out in center field, or deep right center field. Sam Mole, the A's bullpen, is up top. And right below it is the Phillies bullpen. And when you see all the Phillies fans lined up top, right above, that's why the visiting bullpen is up top and the home bullpen is underneath. Because it's possible that there's a few things being said by that group up above the A's bullpen. I mean, it's possible. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't know how many of those fans are going to be getting Christmas cards from anybody in that Oakland A's bullpen. Not many.
And it's only the third inning. the city of brotherly love, though, isn't it?
That's what I've heard.
Kemp charges, and that will do it. Damage done by the Phillies. They score 4 times. So as we head to the 4th, the Phillies now lead it 5-0. A little information on Cornelius Alexander Mack, better known as Connie Mack, player manager for the Pirates, but then took over the Philadelphia Athletics in 1901. He was their manager for 50 years. 50 years. Most managerial wins and most managerial losses in Major League Baseball history, but he got 5 titles with the Athletics. The early part of the 20th century was good to Connie Mack and the Philadelphia A's. Passed away in 1956, of course, member of the Hall of Fame. Can't forget, Philadelphia was a 2-team city.
Yeah.
Major League Baseball for a long, long time.
When Phillies fans who've spent a year or two at the ballpark around here, if you're walking around town and you are an A's fan and you might have some memorabilia that shows that, they're going to let you know that it's no longer a 2-team city.
Yeah. Strike call to Billy McKinney. McKinney, Murphy, and Pinder here for the A's. Work to do, top of the 4th inning.
Connie Mack, one of the all-time great nicknames in baseball. The tall tactician.
The tall tactician, yes. Strike 3 call. A little bit of a late call, Billy McKinney. Connie Mack with the A's for a very long time. Steve Vucinich with the A's for a very long time. Is that a great shot? Voos standing by the Connie Mack statue. That is a great, great shot. Voos retiring. In fact, he's probably just got, what did he say? He thought the trucks, he had to load the trucks in Arizona, the trucks that were headed back to Oakland with all the equipment. And I want to say he thought that the trucks were maybe leaving Saturday.
Yeah.
Which would be tomorrow. Could this be Voos's last day of work?
Very well could be.
I hope he's watching. Voos, we miss you already.
And if he is, I hope his feet are up. He's got a nice cigar.
Decent chance of that. 0-1 to Sean Murphy. And now 0-2. You know, when the A's were in Philadelphia, they did have a lot of success. up until 1930. They won the World Series in 1930, Dallas. But then they went 23 years without making the postseason, and their popularity here in Philadelphia plummeted. So you're saying, well, why did they move if they had success? They did up until 1931-32, and the attendance was bad. The Phillies became more popular. Swing and a miss by Murphy. Back-to-back strikeouts for Aaron Nola.
Well, if you thought that the extended inning was going to serve this Oakland offense well and maybe create a little rust on Aaron Nola, that just isn't the case. Disposed of Billy McKinney with a nasty front door two-seam fastball, and here's that curveball on display to Sean Murphy.
Just fouled. Chad Pinder.
Right now, Aaron Nola's got that baseball doing whatever he wants.
Pinder a ground out in the second inning. Hit pretty well to right center. Toward the wall, and that baby's gone. Chad Pinder gets the first hit for the Athletics, and it's a home run. So Pinder to right center field.
Well, you can see where the glove of Real Muto is set up. They want this down and away. Unfortunately for Mr. Nola, this pitch is up and right in to the go zone for Chad Pinder. And he absolutely smashed it.
So the A's are on the board. It's 5-1. So Chad Pinder. Was that, did you pick him?
I did. I wasn't going to bring it up.
That's right. The lunchroom, we said, all right, who's going to hit the A's first home run this year? I said Murphy. Who'd Vince say?
I think Vinny might have had Seth Brown. He might have had Brownie.
Yeah, I think he had Brownie, and you said Pinder, so you win the prize. It's a cheesesteak.
I'm in.
1-2 the count to Seth Brown. Seth Brown grounded out in the second inning. And there's that good breaking ball. So Aaron Nola strikes out 3, but gives up a hit and a run. A home run. There it is. Chad Pinder, right center field. A's are on the board. Bottom of the fourth coming up. Phillies 5, A's 1.
the official crypto exchange of MLB.
5-1, the Phillies lead the A's. It's the bottom of the fourth inning. A's get a Chad Pinder home run last half inning. See if that gets things going a little bit for the Athletics. Frankie Montas coming off of a very long inning. Bottom of the third, where the Phillies scored 4 times on 4 hits and a walk. 33 pitches thrown for Frankie Montas in that third inning. So he needs a quick inning here in the fourth. He faces Stott, Vierling, and then Schwarber. So it was yesterday when Major League Baseball opened up. There was a few games yesterday. Everybody after today will have opened up. But a lot of fun things happened yesterday in baseball. Bobby Witt Jr., the prize prospect of the Kansas City Royals, got his first big league hit, and it was in the 8th inning. It gave the Royals the lead. That's a pretty cool way to get your first big league hit.
Well, he is going to be something to watch.
Yeah, he just got that look, doesn't he?
He sure does, and obviously the pedigree is there, but he made a play, Kite, going to his backhand in the hole a bit, and you almost thought to yourself, put it in the pocket, and you don't have a shot.
And he's playing third base.
And not only did he have a shot, but he got the runner by about 2.5 steps, it felt like.
That's a foul tip. Swing and a miss by Stott for the strikeout. That's number 4 in the strikeout column for Frankie Montas. I think
there it is, the devastator.
I think the funniest thing that happened last night, and maybe funny's not the right word because it hurt Bob Melvin's team, and we don't like to see that, the San Diego Padres, but let's take Bo Mel out of the equation. Padres are in San Diego, and they're leading 2-0 going to the bottom of the 9th inning, and they're rolling along. Darvish, no-hitter, 6 innings. The Diamondbacks get something going in the bottom of the 9th. They score a run. Now it's 2-1. And keep this in mind, folks. It is National Beer Day yesterday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Beer as in beer. I need to have a beer. National Beer Day yesterday. The Diamondbacks' designated hitter, his name is Seth Beer. He hits a 3-run walk-off home run for the Diamondbacks to beat the San Diego Padres. How does that stuff happen?
You can't draw it up.
Seth Beer.
It's the baseball gods at work right there. Right now, Frankie going to work with that splitting. This should tell you just how nasty that pitch is, because it was going to be a strike. It has depth in the strike zone. Maybe not exactly where he would have liked it, but in terms of deception, you're trying to pick up that 97-mile-an-hour arm speed, and then the bottom of that baseball just falls right out.
Schwarber, first pitch, rolls it, and it's fair. Just went right over the bag. That's a 9-pitch inning for Frankie Montas, and he needed it. 5th inning coming up.
And enter at MLB.com/season picker.
Beautiful day in Philadelphia. Low 60s. Right now the Phillies leading the A's 5-1. Top of the fifth inning, Elvis Andrus is going to face Aaron Nola. Nola's been good. The only hit that he has allowed was the Pinder home run. He has not walked anybody. He's got 4 strikeouts. He'll face Andrus, Smith, Piscotty here in the fifth. Nola delivers, and the first pitch is a strike. So we told you, Dallas, earlier in the show that we were going to have one of the great broadcast moments in Oakland A's history. We're going to bring it back. Happened in 2017, and it was our broadcast partner, Ray Fosse, here in Philadelphia. Came in September, and the Philly Fanatic came up and paid a visit to our man Foss. And it is pure comic gold.
I can only imagine.
And we are going to play it for you after the Elvis Andrus at bat as he bounces to Gregorius. And here it is.
I can't wait.
Folks, be ready to laugh very hard.
Oh, hey, what's up? Hey, you made it. Our partner was asking for you last night. How's Tommy Lasorda? Oh, Philly cheesesteak. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man.
Wow. Are you going to have one or just us? Oh.
Why do I don't think he's done yet?
Is there a game going on? Why are you doing this to me? What are you doing for that? All right, thank you, buddy. This is great.
Is that not the greatest? He put the cheesesteak hat on Ray's head. Oh, man.
Oh.
You don't think we don't miss that guy?
Oh,
gee whiz.
Well,
watch this.
That's the.
Oh, we were trying to do the game, and the rest of the game was just, it just didn't matter.
No, that's secondary.
Oh, man. So Smith strikes out. That is strikeout number 5 for Nola. You know what? Foss is laughing upstairs after watching that.
Yes, he is. Oh, man. Wow. What a beauty. You know what I take away from all that, too? Not only the humor, but you see Foss go to high-five the Fanatic, and his hand is bigger than the mascot's hand.
Twice as big. So a very quick inning for Aaron Nola, and we are headed to the bottom of the fifth, home of the Philly Fanatic. Yes, indeed. Beautiful.
The Phillies leading the A's 5-1 on opening day. Action around the AL West. Astros and the Angels will play again tonight. They played last night. The opener down in Anaheim, and the Astros beat the Angels by a final score of 3-1. I watched some of that game. Ohtani was good, but struck out 9 in 4 2/3 innings. He ended up taking the loss. Framber Valdez was the story in that game.
He sure was.
He pitched great for the Astros and got the win. That was last night. They'll play again tonight.
Well, another record-setting night for Ohtani, Kite. First player in baseball history to deliver his team's first pitch
and then turn around and see the first pitch as the leadoff hitter.
That's right. It'll be Odorizzi and Detmers, the rookie left-hander for the Angels tonight. Mariners are underway. The Mariners are in Minnesota. It is cold at Target Field, but they are playing. And the Twins, or the Mariners, have an early 2-0 lead. They got a Haniger home run in the first inning. Robbie Ray pitching for Seattle.
Carlos Correa making his Minnesota Twins debut.
That's right. Foul ball by Realmuto. The Mariners made some noise today. That's Jacob Lemoyne, the right-hander, getting loose for the A's. Mariners signed their shortstop, J.P. Crawford, to a 5-year, $51 million extension. That's a big deal.
Sure is.
So Crawford, we've seen a lot of him, obviously. Pretty good player. Gold Glove winner, and he's going to be a Mariner for a long time.
Yeah, he's one of those players that, whether it's the A's rolling into Seattle or them coming down to the Bay, that you just enjoy watching opposing players, the way they play the game of baseball. He's one of those guys on that list for me. I just enjoy watching him move around, the plays he makes, the risks he takes.
Hit hard toward third, handled by Kevin Smith. His throw just in time to get Realmuto, and that's out number 1. Well, you also have seen the improvement that J.P. Crawford has made, both defensively and in his offensive game.
Yes.
So that's a commitment that you're going to be our shortstop for a long time. So that's big news coming out of Seattle. Crawford would have been a free agent after the 2024 season, Dallas. This contract runs through 2026. So Mariners got 2 of his free agent years as well.
Well, important for them to lock that part of the field up. And they did not hesitate.
Bryce Harper hits with 1 out. The Rangers will be in Toronto tonight for the Blue Jays home opener. Gray and Barrios is the pitching matchup up in Canada.
Barrios, another young stud.
So those are the AL West games. Red Sox leading the Yankees 5-4, bottom of the 10th inning. So extra innings in the Bronx. Harper fouls it straight back. Word coming out of New York this morning was that the Yankees and Aaron Judge tried desperately to get an extension done, because Judge said when it's game time opening day, negotiations stop.
Done.
And they did not get a deal done. 0-2 pitch fouled at the plate. In fact, according to the reports we're hearing, Dallas, is that the Yankees offered Judge a 7-year, $213 million contract that would start next year. And that's $30 million a year. And the Aaron Judge team said, nope, that's not going to get it done. Over the mound, it hits the mound. Nice play by Elvis Andrus, and he throws out Bryce Harper. Ball hit the mound and kind of it veered
to the left as we look at it a little bit, but also flattened out.
Well, and Kai, I was going to say, I think that actually played into the hands of the Oakland Athletics there, because if that ball just continues to bounce, Harper busting it out of the box from the left side might have a chance to beat that ball out. Instead, it hits the back slope of that mound and just kind of hugs the ground, gets to Elvis, he's able to complete the play.
So 2 outs, here's Castellanos. But you know, the Judge and the Yankees, that's a big deal. I mean, Aaron Judge is probably as popular of a Yankee they've had in there a long time, taking away the Derek Jeter situation. But Judge he's their guy.
Well, they did not hesitate to start to put him on that pedestal the minute he showed up, right? They've got fans dressed up in Judge's outfits out there in right field, the Judge's chambers, the Judge's court, whatever it is. So they were rallying around their guy very early on. What I start to think about, though, is, you know, whether you call it a lack of action or complacency or stagnation during free agency by the Yankees is something that I know Yankee fans weren't terribly excited about. And then you think about the talent of Aaron Judge and what he means to that club and the inability to lock their guy up. It just doesn't feel like maybe the Yankee of old.
Yeah, you're saying, why wait till the last minute here?
Right.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel like that's something they would have typically done in the past or allowed to have happen in the past, if you will.
And the Yankees side of the story is, listen, we're offering this guy $30 million a year, taking him well past the age of 35. And he has not shown the ability throughout his career to stay healthy. He was healthy last year, and he had a huge year. Swing and a miss by Castellanos. But we, of course, are just spending other people's money.
It's easy.
It's very easy to do. 6th inning coming up.
Season starting at just $39. Pick from great matchups, post-game fireworks and drone shows, giveaways, and a bunch more. Tickets are available at athletics.com/value. That's athletics.com/value.
Five to 1, Phillies lead the A's. It's the top of the 6th inning. Frankie Montas, well, he had that real tough 3rd inning, but 3 up, 3 down in the 4th, 3 up, 3 down in the 5th. There's Christian Pache, followed by Kemp and McKinney.
Yeah, just the one blow-up inning from Frankie. Otherwise, a fairly decent outing, but that one inning.
A couple of 2-out hits that really hurt. It was 2-0 with 2 outs, but Hoskins got the 2-run single with 2 outs. Gregorius got a single with 2 outs that knocked in a total of 3 runs. 1-2 now to Pache, who reached on a fielder's choice in the third. Nola about to throw his 60th pitch, so the pitch count's pretty good. He went with a high fastball. Pache chased it, and that is strikeout number 6.
Well, Nola has showed the ability all afternoon to not only get ahead, but throw all of his pitches for strikes. Take a look at how he's gone about the work today. A fastball, curveball combination, sprinkled in the change here and there. Turning the fastball over, trying to sink it when necessary.
Kemp hits one in the air to right. Harper back and to his right. Couple steps onto the warning track, and he grabs it for the second out.
There's a look at that two-seamer, that sinker, just starting it in off the plate of the left-hander, Tony Kemp. Bringing it back, Tony Kemp just unable to really get the barrel to it. The thing kind of bearing in on him.
So with 2 outs, McKinney hits, he has grounded out, and he has struck out. A's have 1 hit in the game. It was Pinder's home run in the 4th. Phillies have 6 hits. 4 of those 6 came in that 3rd inning.
Look, Aaron Nola is now 18 for 20. First pitch strikes.
Tries to dot that outside corner.
You see these shadows here.
They are in play big time.
Not making things easy for this Oakland lineup right now.
Swing and a miss, struck him out. 7 strikeouts through 6 innings for Aaron Nola. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Phillies 5 and the A's 1.
California is brought to you by WebEx. The future of work is hybrid. WebEx by Cisco.
Back here in Philadelphia, Phillies leading the A's 5-1. Bottom of the 6th inning, and when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. It's your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. It's big league debut for Jake Lemoyne. He's from Houston, Texas, sporting number 71, 6'5", 220-pounder. So a big day for Jake Lemoyne.
It was such a special moment.
Awesome.
It's always a big deal. But opening day, you got the family in the house. The only thing else that tops it off is you actually getting out there and being able to play, and that's all going to happen right now.
Lemoyne signed with the A's in January of this year. It's the Lemoyne Group. They'll enjoy this one. Jake Lemoyne last year pitched AAA Round Rock, which is AAA team for the Texas Rangers. First pitch in, first strike. And he had very good numbers. A's grabbed him with a minor league contract.
Well, what makes this special too, Kite, is you get your career started. He was drafted in the 4th round back in 2015. He didn't pitch though. Didn't pitch in 15, 2016, or 2020. Early on, he had some rotator cuff issues, and then obviously the pandemic 2020 season. So for him to make his way to the big leagues after clearing a few hurdles, it makes it all the sweeter.
And there are opportunities big time in that A's bullpen.
Well, and even at 28 years old, there's not a ton of mileage on his arm.
The line for Frankie Montas: 6 hits, 5 runs, a walk, 6 strikeouts. Finished with 92 pitches. And the 3-1 pitch misses. So Jake Lemoyne, the first hitter he faces at the big league level is Rhys Hoskins, and Hoskins walks. So here's Didi Gregorius.
Well, you got that first at bat out of the way, a big deep breath. Ready to dial up that 2-ball.
Gregorius takes the strike. Strikeout and an RBI single for Didi Gregorius.
See, Lemoyne's got a little of that arm side run on the sinker. Moving away from the left-hander, Didi Gregorius.
Lemoyne was born in Houston, and he went to the University of Houston. So he'll look forward to those 3 trips to Houston to play the Astros.
Spend about 7 or 8 days in Texas. He'll be home.
And that one bends Gregorius out of the way. In fact, puts him on the seat of his pants. And I don't care how nice of a guy you may be, whether you're the pitcher or the hitter. If you're a veteran hitter and a rookie zips you like this, you're not happy.
No.
Not even like you. Gregorius could care less if this is his big league debut.
That does not matter. Well, nobody likes to sniff a 94 right under the nose hairs. That is not fun.
That one is hit high, left center, shallow. Pinder in, and Pinder has it. So that is out number 1 for Jake Lemoyne. So he's got his first big league out.
For Didi, you're just trying to dig in and get a look at something.
Next thing you know, you got one buzzing the tower.
Gene Segura is 0 for 2. Segura 0 for 2 against the A's. That's a story in itself. In his career against the Athletics, he has hit .351. What do they call him? Gene the Hit Machine?
Gene the Hit Machine. Reminds me of a guy named Placido Polanco.
Let me guess, you couldn't get him out.
I couldn't get him out. Rotation mate Joe Blanton had a tough time. Yeah, I think combined he hit about 2,000.
Pitch is a ball, 3-0. Segura has been around. Angels, Brewers, Arizona, Seattle, and now his 4th season in Philadelphia. Career .285 hitter.
Well, I think he's found himself a comfortable spot here.
And there's the second walk of the inning by Lemoyne.
Well, just watching the Segura at bat there after watching Didi take that fastball up around the chin, you kind of get the feeling that the Phillies lineup here is just going to kind of wait the youngster out.
A lot of veterans in that lineup.
There are.
232.
Hey, A's fans, turn to and join the millions who are already saving by adding Xfinity Mobile to their internet. It's an unbeatable connection only from Xfinity. So Lemoyne will face Bryson Stott, who is also making his major league debut today. 2 on, 1 out. Stott, fly ball to center, and a strikeout. Good pitch there, a little movement. Grabs the inside corner.
Yeah, that's that little run we're talking about. We've seen a little slider. Fastball.
Threw it again and jumps ahead of the count 0-2. So now we'll find out what Lemoyne wants to go to for his out pitch.
Right now, he'd love to dial up a ground ball. See if he can get 2 outs for the price of 1 pitch. He'll take the swing and miss here, 0-2. Friends and family trying to will that ground ball right along with him.
Good pitch there, just a touch off the plate. Domingo Acevedo is warming up out in the A's bullpen.
He's a changeup. Just not able to get Stott fishing.
And that one is smoked. Foul. I think Stott was looking A for a fastball, B on the inner half, and he spun on it.
It's just a long, loud strike.
Right.
.109 off the bat. Yeah, he got the barrel to it.
Hoskins at second, Segura at first. Line drive, base hit right field. Here comes Piscotty. Gets to it quickly. Hits the cutoff man. Hoskins holds at third. And the bases are loaded. That's the first big league hit for Bryson Stott.
Well, it just seemed like Bryson Stott was not going to get beat on the inner part of the plate. Did a good job of spitting on that changeup earlier in the at-bat. Forcing Lemoyne to come back into the zone. Got a little breaking ball that just kind of sat. Stott able to drop the head on it, shoot it out to right field.
Acevedo is about ready to go if needed. As Matt Vierling fouls the first pitch back. Vierling has hit a fly ball to right. He has struck out so far today. Phillies have only 2 young center fielders, and they were both going to play. They're probably going to platoon Vierling, the right-handed hitter. Mickey Moniak, left-handed hitter. Moniak was going to make the team, but in the final exhibition game, Moniak was hit by a pitch, fractured his right hand. He's going to be out 6 weeks. Can you believe that? It happened on Wednesday. In fact, I saw it on TV. The exhibition game against the Rays was on TV here. The Phillies and the Rays. I was just watching it because there's nothing else on. And Moniak, it may have been his last at bat, and he got hit, and he's out. So Moniak would have probably been in the lineup today in center field. Good pitch there, and it's 2-2.
And 23 pitches this inning for Lemoyne, and I think what we're seeing is some of these misses from him just haven't been as competitive as you'd like to see.
Well, it is full, and the strike zone is tight.
Well, he would love right now to be able to get old Vierling to bounce into a 6-4-3 if possible. Last thing you want to do is have that lineup turn over.
Right field, Piscotty back. Piscotty's going to have just enough room up against the scoreboard. Fires it back in. Hoskins comes in to score, as it was plenty deep for a sacrifice fly, obviously. So Hoskins scores, Segura to third, and it's 6-1 Phillies lead.
They're stuck with a fastball. Got it up in the zone just high enough. Vierling not able to get all the barrel on it, but it gets the job done.
So 2 away, runners at the corners are run in, and here's Schwarber. Schwarber, homer, walk, and a ground out. He scored a couple of runs. So his home run led off the bottom of the first, and then in the third, Schwarber got a 1-out walk, and that started the 4-run inning.
I figure you start the game off with that long ball, kind of plant the seed early on that you can't just start laying them in there and you find guys start to nibble around. This is what we're talking about.
Fastball down and in, right into that nitro zone.
Over Schwarber. The first thing you think of is obviously the home runs, and he can hit a ton. But he really has a good eye. He's not afraid to take a walk.
No, he'll fill you out.
I mean, he'll strike out a fair amount.
I think that's a sign of a guy who really understands pitches he can get to, pitches he can do damage with. I'm just saying, I'm not going to expand myself when I don't need to.
Schwarber drives him towards center. Pache back.
stops, settles underneath it, and makes the catch. A run and a hit, a walk, a sac fly, and we're on to the 7th. 6-1 Philadelphia.
Back in January 2023, experience the life of a big leaguer and play on the same field as the Athletics during spring training in Arizona. Get instruction on the fundamentals of the game and play games with Vita Blue, Scott Hatterberg, Shooty Babbitt, and many, many more. Registration is open to all genders ages 21 and over, with a limited number of roster spots still available. Proceeds benefit the Oakland A's Community Fund, so visit athletics.com/fantasycamp to request more information and register today.
6-1, the Phillies lead the A's. It's the top of the 7th inning. They were doing a little extra work on the second base bag. Looks like they got that fixed. Want to wish the A's minor league affiliates. AAA started on Tuesday, but AA, High A, and Low A, they get started tonight. AA Midland, Bones Crosby's your manager.
Shout out Bones Crosby making his AA managerial debut.
Single A Stockton, Franklin Font is the manager there, and we want to throw out a special shout out to the High A Lansing Lugnuts, minor league affiliate for the Athletics. They get started tonight. Their manager, Phil Pohl. Fair ball. Down the third base line by Murph. Murph's going to dig for second, and he's going to have a leadoff double. Just inside the bag at third. Second hit for the A's. They'll take it.
And no waiting around for Murph. Fastball misses its spot. Up top, he does a good job of getting the barrel up there. Able to tap it down the line. Take a leadoff double for the man who was in fuego in spring training.
Sure was. So here's Pinder. But we bring up Phil Pohl. Phil Pohl was the A's bullpen catcher for, what, 6 years?
Yeah.
And he is now the manager of the Lansing Lugnuts in the A's organization. So good luck tonight to Phil Pohl making his managerial debut. First pitch strike to Pinder.
Well, time for the play of the day, brought to you by your California Ford dealers. Chi Pinder. Little Oppo Taco. Put the A's on the board. Their first hit of the ball game.
And that's going to be a base hit. Murphy is going to hit the bag at third. He'll be held up by Bushy. So first and third, nobody out. A little action for the A's in the 7th.
Just a couple of mislocations here back to back for Aaron Nola. It's like a changeup they wanted away. But as we've seen all afternoon, Aaron Nola's had that baseball ducking and diving every which way. See Murph hitting the brakes over there at third.
So here's Seth Brown, nobody out. 3 infielders on the right side for Seth Brown. Outfield straight away. And Brown goes after the first pitch, bounces it foul down the first base line. Ground out and a strikeout for Seth Brown. Gregorius pulled over to the right side. They keep Stott on the left side. Fastball is high. Attendance today, it's a sellout. 44,232. 44232. So they got nice weather.
Yeah, they were not going to miss it.
Foul back. 1-2 now to Seth Brown.
We showed you the shift there earlier. You've now got Bryson Stott, who's going to move over even more. That's going to allow Sean Murphy over at third base to really get down as far as he wants. If he believes he can beat Nola back to the bag at third, should he decide to take off, that's about where you would draw the line.
Off the plate, 2-2.
And the reason that's important is because Aaron Nola, he had that big hammer-like curveball. Should he bounce one and get away from Real Muto, got a nice easy shot for Sean Murphy to make his way across home plate.
Off of Brown, and it puts him down. Nothing good happens when you foul a ball off your foot. Probably just missed the padding.
Might have caught him right on that instep, right where that padding isn't. Kite, you are right. Instep / top of the foot. We got a high of what, 60 degrees here in Philly?
It's not getting warmer.
Well, Nola was able to dispose of Brown back in the 4th inning with a curveball. Got him to foul that one off his foot. Let's see if he goes back to the well or tries to speed him up with a fastball. Looks like they're going curveball.
Would have hung out over the plate a little bit. So the count remains 2-2. On deck, Elvis Andrus. These need to string a bunch of hits together. Fastball high, and now the count is full.
Well, the last thing you want to do if you're Aaron Nola here is issue a free pass. He's got a few different ways he could go. The changeup's been good today. He's front-doored that fastball against lefties late in the count. And after a good fastball up, he could go back to that curveball. And I think that's what he's going to do.
And that one is smoked to right field. And that baby's gone. Well, folks, we have a new ball game. It's 6-4.
Well, in my opinion, that's just maybe some overexposure of that curveball. And that'll bring an end to the outing for Mr. Aaron Nola.
So Nola, terrific through 6 innings, but falters here in the 7th. Gives up a 3-run homer to Seth Brown, and it is now 6-4. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. Off Aaron Nola, and here it is.
And Kaim, I don't think there's two ways about it here. Seth Brown had not looked good on the curveball in his previous at-bats. And he got a couple that he was able to pick up, foul off, finally got one that didn't make its way to Real Muto and got deposited out in right center.
And that is now the 16th home run since 2020 that Aaron Nola has allowed with 2 strikes. That has been a little bit of a bugaboo.
New pitcher is Jeurys Familia, former Athletic. Last season, 9-4, had a save, 3.94 ERA. Those numbers came with the Mets. The Phillies redid their bullpen in the offseason, and part of that was signing Familia to a 1-year, $6 million deal. He's been around a long time. In fact, Dallas, this is his 500th career appearance. Of those 500, 30 came with the Athletics back in 2018. He was with the Mets. Mets traded him to the A's in that 18 season. And then after the season, he was a free agent. Did not return to the Athletics, but returned to the Mets. Elvis taps foul at the plate. Jeurys Familia, big guy, 6'3", 245 pounds, from the Dominican Republic.
Well, and he's no stranger to the back end of a bullpen. I mean, he's got, what, 120 plus career saves under his belt?
Yeah, 125 to be exact.
There you go. Slot in very nicely to this bullpen.
He had 51 saves for the Mets in 2016. So the crowd has quieted down.
Yeah.
Thanks to the Brown home run.
Yeah. Brownie just delivered a gut punch to 44,000 strong.
Slowly hit left side. Stott throws low and not caught by Hoskins. Now the throw back to first, and Elvis gets back. Hoskins had a reach for it. And somehow the ball ended up rolling up the first base line. I don't know, it may have hit Elvis.
We see Stott, he comes and gets that short hop, but throwing it on the run, and what Rhys Hoskins has to do is make a decision on whether or not he's going to stick that arm out there and potentially get it trampled. Is going to be able to get to that baseball? Well, he tries to, and in an effort to bring the arm and the glove out of the path of Elvis Andrus, that ball ends up spitting out of the glove. So if Rhys Hoskins is not in danger of getting trampled by Elvis Andrus and is able to keep that glove where it met the ball, might have been able to hold on to the baseball, but that's not the case.
So Andrus aboard. They have not put an error up on the scoreboard, but it has to be an error. And here's Kevin Smith. So they're giving the error to Hoskins.
Oof.
I don't know if their theory there is the ball was not really in the dirt, but it's also...
Well, that's a throw up the line.
Yeah, up the line is very dangerous. I've seen a lot of first basemen get hurt making a play like that. They get their elbow bent backwards.
Well,
Max Muncy, right?
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you're asking me to decide between an E3 and a hyperextended elbow, go ahead and give me the error.
Yeah. 0-2 to Kevin Smith, who's 0 for 2. So each team has made an error now. Now the A's one swing of the bat away from tying this game. On deck is Stephen Piscotty. Down and away. Final line for Aaron Nola. 4 hits, 4 runs, no walks, 7 strikeouts. Swing and a miss. Smith kind of pulled off a breaking ball down and away, and that's out number 1. See, you know what, Dallas? If you're in the other dugout, and when I say other dugout, I mean the Phillies dugout, or if you're a reliever or pitching, or whatever, do you see that swing where he's really pulling off, almost swinging wildly at a breaking ball down and away? Do you write that down?
Yes.
Ball away, over swinging.
Yep. Well, those are things that you just start to log to memory. You think location, game situation. What am I seeing? That all kind of plays into the 4 swings that I try to track as a player, and now the swings that I'm paying attention to. That's, you want to take a note of your first swing, the last swing, the best swing, and the worst swing. Those are swings that are really important to me when I start thinking about what a guy might be aggressive on.
Stephen Vogt is pinch hitting here. So he's hitting for Piscotty. And he's hitting as the tying run. 6-4, Phillies lead in the 7th. Swing and a miss by Stephen Vogt. Been fun talking to Stephen Vogt since he's come back to the Athletics. I like about Voter.
Everything.
Still everything and then some, but still really confident. He says, hey, I can catch.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a better catcher now than I was a couple years ago. Segura spins out at second on to first. Not in time. Vogt hustles to beat it out. keep the inning going, and that's important because it continues to get the tying run to the plate.
That's it. Shout out to the backstops today. Really showing how fresh those legs are.
Phillies are thinking about taking a look at it. And I think they are. And I don't think they should, because it looks like Vogt is safe.
Yeah, they're trying to do everything they can right now to get out of this inning. But to your point about Vogt kind of talking about how he's progressed.
Think about an older guy who's figuring out ways to stay in the game, evolving with the game. Well, that's a position that we have seen evolve probably more so than any other position on the field, just by virtue of setup, game calling, right? We've got electronics involved now, so there's a lot that's being thrown at guys. And if you're an older individual who's been around the game and understands the ebbs and flows of the position and now has the opportunity to really refine some of the mechanical changes that are giving guys opportunities, well, you're probably putting yourself in a pretty good position to be competitive or be considered.
Hey, you're seeing a lot of the catchers go to one knee now when they catch. I know that is something Stephen Vogt does, and he's worked very hard at it, and he's very comfortable doing it. Try to get some low strikes for your pitcher.
Well, look, I'm not going to beat around the bush here. The backstop over in Anaheim, Max Stassi, as you take a look at this replay here.
I just don't see enough there to overturn the safe call.
Philadelphia loses their chance.
And they do not change the calls. So it's a fielder's choice for Vogt. 2 outs now with Vogt at first for Pache. So Pache, his third at bat, he's reached on a fielder's choice, and he has struck out. First pitch, a mighty swing and a miss.
Diving play, but off the glove of Stott. Everybody's going to be safe. So Stott got a glove on it, popped away from him, and that's going to be a hit for Pache. That's the 4th hit in the inning for the Athletics, and there's also been an error.
A hard hit ground ball. Stott just trying to lay out and knock it down. Thought he might have had a play on it.
Joe Girardi is coming out. So Familia faces 4 hitters. Remember, there was an error in this inning. That didn't help him. But the A's have 2 on, 2 out with 3 runs in, trying to tie up this game. So pitching change from Philadelphia.
California is brought to you by Toyota, the MVP of MPG. With 11 fuel-efficient hybrids to choose from, there's one for everyone. Toyota, let's go places. And by Provident Credit Union, make life easy.
So it's now 6-4, A's still batting here in the top of the 7th. And for the Phillies, they're using their 3rd pitcher this inning. It's the left-hander, Brad Hand, another new member of the Phillies bullpen. Hand, veteran left-hander. He's been around a long time. He, like Familia, got a 1-year, $6 million deal. Brad Hand. One job here, and that's to get Tony Kemp. Vogt at second, Pache at first. First pitch to Kemp is a strike on the outside corner. Good time for Tony Kemp's first hit of this 2022 season. Couple of ground outs and a fly ball to deep right. Way outside with that Brad Hand slider curveball. So he's had a good one.
Which is why he's found himself in 374, now 375 ball games since the start of 2016, and that is the high water mark for all pitchers across Major League Baseball. He's gotten some run.
Check swing, slowly hit. Stock to first, and he threw it away. Vogt's going to come in to score. Pache to third. He'll stop there, and it's 6-5. Another mistake by the Phillies infield. And right now, the Stott Realmuto corner infield situation is killing the Phillies.
Yeah, things not working out right now. Stott again making a throw. This one creeping up the line, and you can see once again Rhys Hoskins forced to make a decision between self-preservation and the baseball. And that's twice now it has not worked out for the Phillies.
So they're going to go base hit for Kemp, E5. So base hit, no RBI, run scores on the air. And here's Jed Lowry to hit. The runners are at second and third. A hit now could give the A's the lead. Two errors in the inning.
Costly. And now you're allowing Mark Kotsay to start pressing buttons, bringing the veteran Jed Lowry, the switch hitter, to face the lefty Brad Hand.
Lowry drives one down the right field line, but it's going to drift foul. So ninth man to bat in the inning is Lowry,
who was exceptional with runners in scoring position.
A lot of things happening in this inning. Stephen Vogt hustling down to first, keep the inning going. A's have scored 4 times. Pache at third, Kemp at second. Lots of speed on the bases. Pitch is a little high, and it's interesting, Dallas, and talking to scouts about the Phillies. The talent, there's plenty of talent to be a postseason team. But in years past, the bullpen has not been good. One of the reasons why they revamped the bullpen this year, they signed 3 guys, but the bullpen has been a struggle in years past, and the defense has not been very good.
And you're going to need those 2 things, especially late in ball games, if you're going to give yourself a fighting chance.
There's that slider, and Lowry gets called out on strikes, but the A's score 4 times to make it a ball game. The first 3 coming on Seth Brown's home run. 7th inning stretch from Philadelphia. It's now the Phillies 6 and the A's 5.
Certainly is a new ball game, 6-5 now, thanks to the A's scoring 4 times in the top of the 7th inning, and still a couple innings to go. So what was really a one-sided affair for the first 6 innings has flipped here, and now the A's right back in it when it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. It's your trusted oil change tune-up and repair experts. Domingo Acevedo comes in, the big right-hander. His numbers last year with the Athletics. The A's are hoping for Acevedo to take a significant step.
I think that's fair to say. Figuring the 11 innings that he saw last year with the Oakland A's, 3.27 ERA. They do expect a little more of that.
There's your changes. Seth Brown goes from first base to right field. Piscotty is out. Remember, Vogt hit for Piscotty. So Brown to right, and Vogt stays in the game at first base. So here's some of that flexibility that Mark Kotsay has. Being able to keep Brown in the game and put him in the outfield. And keep Vogt in the game at first base. So Realmuto will hit against Acevedo. He'll be followed by Harper and Castellanos. But this is where you just desperately want a nice, clean inning from your reliever. And clean innings are hard to do, right? Especially against a great lineup like this. You have momentum in your dugout right now.
Well, it's what we call a momentum inning.
Just foul.
You want to do everything you can right now to get your offense back in the dugout. Just to kind of continue to keep that line moving the way they had, taking advantage of some hung pitches that missed their spot, some errant defense.
0-2 to Realmuto, who's 1 for 3. Singled and scored in the 3rd. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Acevedo with the paintbrush out.
That's it. The low 2 change piece with some depth on it. Started away. It's like Realmuto might have been looking for something else. Can I help you, JT? No thanks. Just looking.
The 1 out for Harper. Harper a fly ball to left in the 1st, a RBI double and a run scored in the 3rd, and a ground out to short in the 5th. So 2-0, be careful here. Now, both these teams are busy early. We mentioned before the A's playing 17 straight games to open up the season. Phillies, 23 games in 24 days to start their season. Go get them, boys.
That's a chunk.
And that, stretches like that, that plays into how Mark Kotsay and Joe Girardi are going to put their lineups together, because you have to give guys days off. Shorter spring training and then that many games early on in a row. That can be tough.
Well, shorter spring training, that many games. You've probably got some veterans in there who are still easing into sort of the everyday workload. Acevedo doesn't get the call there on a fastball up. Kind of sprayed the zone the entire at bat. So he wasn't going to get the benefit of the doubt, but let's take a look here. 3-0. Granted, he missed his spot, but you'd like to be rewarded with throwing it in the strike zone.
Here's Castellanos, who has had a quiet day in his first game as a member of the Phillies. He's 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, 2 looking. And 1 swing. Take that back. 2 swinging and 1 looking.
Yankees beat the Red Sox 6-5 in 11 innings. Both teams scored a run in the 10th. But then in the bottom of the 11th, Josh Donaldson had a base hit that gave the Yankees a win in their home opener. Rizzo, Stanton, and LeMahieu homered for the Yankees. Devers homered for the Red Sox. Acevedo needs a ground ball right at somebody.
There's a left-hander, Kirby Snead getting it cranking.
Tigers won their home opener 5-4 over the White Sox. Scored 2 in the 9th off Liam Hendricks. Blown save for Liam. That one is smoked. Fair. Headed into the corner. Harper, helmet flies off, hits the bag at third. He's digging for home. He's going to score with a head first slide. Ball is loose. Trying for third is Castellanos, and he's out. So the run comes in to score. It'll be a double and an RBI for Castellanos, and it gives the Phillies a 7-5 lead.
A fastball that just caught too much of the plate there, and Castellanos, who's had a tough time putting the barrel on the ball today, finally got a pitch he was able to handle. Got a little aggressive coming around second. Elvis able to pick it up and get it over to Smitty for the putout. But not before Bryce Harper comes all the way around from first to score.
Joe Girardi talking to the umpires. But the Phillies, they lost their challenge earlier. Play at third, and it was close.
You see Castellanos, as soon as he saw that ball kick, he decided to take off. And what they might have been curious about is whether or not Castellanos was able to get a hand in before the tag applied by Smith caught him on the shoulder, the upper body area.
So here's Rhys Hoskins. So again, a double and an RBI for Castellanos. 7-6-5 on the putout for the second out. A's have yet to retire Rhys Hoskins today. He's 2 for 2. 2 singles, a walk, 2 RBIs, and 2 runs scored.
Not a bad opener for the Sacktown Stadium.
From Sacramento, Rhys Hoskins, a Northern California kid. Dallas's nickname for him comes from the fact that he went to Sac State. He's a Hornet.
Yes.
Jesuit High School is where he went to high school.
Yep. But they love him in NorCal, and they love him here in Philly as well.
Two and two the count to Rhys Hoskins. And he tries to hold up, can't do it. So kind of a weak swing by Hoskins. An insurance run for the Phillies, so we're on to inning number 8, 7-5, Philadelphia.
Baseball is back. You can join us at the Oakland Coliseum for the A's opening night when the Green and Gold take on the Baltimore Orioles Monday, April 18th. Fans also get a Let's Go Oakland rally towel presented by Kaiser Permanente on opening night. So get your tickets for Monday, April 18th, starting at just $15. Buy today at athletics.com.
So opening day here in Philadelphia, and it's been a fun day. The weather has treated us well. And the A's right now trailing 7-5. New pitcher for the Phillies is Sir Anthony Dominguez. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. Sir Anthony Dominguez, pitcher number 4 for the Phillies. And the first pitch to Sean Murphy is the ball. Murphy got that 4-run 7th inning started with a double, and he later scored in the inning. Bounces this one towards Stott. Stott has it. The throw to first is right there, 1 away. So Sean Murphy now 1 for 4.
We've gotten a good look at the fastball from Sir Anthony Dominguez, 96 plus. And to see that, that's natural cut at 96. Not easy to pick up, not easy to square up.
More action for Stott. This ball hit hard by Pinder, and the throw is right there. So 2 quick outs here in the 8th inning. So Pinder now 2 for 4. And here's Seth Brown. There is action out in the A's bullpen. Left-hander Kirby Snead getting loose. So we could see Snead in the 8th inning. There's Kirby. Tomorrow it'll be Cole Irvin and Kyle Gibson, your pitching matchup. Game will start an hour later. It's a 4:05 Philadelphia time start. So keep that in mind.
7-pitch inning for Dominguez. And that is a shutdown inning, folks. Bottom of the 8th coming up. 7-5 Phillies over the A's.
Is presented by authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
Here's a look at our game summary for today, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. For the A's, 5 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. For the Phillies, 7 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors, and the 2 errors have been costly for the Phillies. Montas went 5, Nola went 6. Chad Pinder has the first home run of the year for the Athletics. It was a solo shot in the 4th inning, and Seth Brown with a 3-run homer. That was in the 7th inning. So the A's have made a game out of it. It's just 7-5 as they go back to their bullpen. And this is going to be the left-hander Kirby Snead. So our first regular season look at Kirby Snead, coming over from the Blue Jays in the Matt Chapman trade. Check swing with the shift on Elvis Andrus, who is playing kind of the half-third, half-short infield in spot. That's the new spot, you know. I don't really know. The 5.5 play in, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know what the number for that position is, but wherever it is, it's in the right spot.
Well, he was in the right spot there, that's for sure. The 1 pitch, 1 out for Snead. Here's Segura.
That's something that always amazes me. You got the shift on, one guy on one side of the field.
And playing in.
And the ball finds him right where he's at.
You know who else is saying that right now? Didi Gregorius.
Really?
Come on.
One guy over there?
(2-0) to Gene Segura, who has reached on a fielder's choice, ground out, walked. Corey Knebel. Yeah, that's another new Phillies reliever. Segura, big swing, rolls a foul. In that top of the 9th, when the A's get their final hacks, it'll be Andrus, Smith, and Vogt. If anybody were to get on, Pache and hopefully Kemp would get to hit. Segura rips one toward the gap. Pache hustles over on the backhand. Segura's going to try for two. Here comes the throw. It's just a little bit offline, and Segura has a double.
Well, they call him the hit machine for a reason. He's never seen a fastball he doesn't like, and he got one he can handle here. He rattles it up the alley, and Pache over to cut it off. Just watching Pache early on, I can tell that there's a lot of Ramon Laureano in him in terms of instincts and wanting to get the ball and not just get it back in. He wants to make a play on every single ball that comes his way or that's hit into the outfield. He's trying to make a break and create an angle so he can hold those runners at first base.
Here's Bryson Stott. Stott got his first big league hit in the 6th inning. The single runs by the Phillies in the 6th inning and the 7th inning obviously are looming large right now. And the thing that jumps out there, Dallas, is the 6th inning started with a walk to Rhys Hoskins. He scored. The 7th inning, it was a 1-out walk to Harper, and he scored.
Yep.
There's the strike. 1-1 the count to Stott. Again, it's just little things like that.
Well, it's the free passes to a potent lineup like this, because what you find out very quickly is you give the free pass to Harper, and the big bopper behind him, Castellanos, comes up and hits a double.
And that's going to be flipped to left field for a hit. Segura's going to score. Stott's going to try for two, and he's going to make it with a head-first slide. Back-to-back doubles with 1 out to make it 8-5 Philadelphia.
First Major League double, first Major League RBI for Stott.
So the rookie Bryson Stott in his big league debut is 2 for 4 with a single, a double, and now an RBI.
Well, that's a pretty good piece of hitting there from the young left-hander. Just staying inside, filleting that baseball out to left, hustling out of the box. I'll take it. Big league double number 1, big league RBI number 1.
Here's Vierling, who takes the strike. Vierling is 0 for 2. He did have a sacrifice fly in the 6th inning. That the Phillies lineup has gotten damage 1 through 9 today. Everybody has contributed. Everybody has a hit. Now they only have 10 hits, which is not a ridiculous number, right? But everybody has at least 1 hit except for Vierling, and he's got a sac fly.
Right. So if it's not a knock, it's a productive out. And 1 through 9, if you can put that kind of offensive output together, there's a good chance you're going to win a lot of ball games.
I've always felt, Dallas, like if you ask me, okay, you're looking for an offense that's going to score a ton of runs, would you rather have a 1 through 9 of good hitters that are going to do a lot of damage because it's 1 through 9, or would you rather have a real strong 3, 4, 5? I'd rather have the 1 through 9.
Give me the link.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
3, 4, 5 stars or 1 through 9 really good hitters.
Well, because what 3, 4, 5 stars, or the meat and potatoes of a lineup does, is it probably offers you some breathing holes in the bottom part of the lineup, meaning those are guys that you can sort of tiptoe around. You can pitch how you'd like to. You got a lineup 1 through 9 that's going to give you tough at-bats, veteran-type, patient at-bats. That becomes tough to navigate because the leverage of each at-bat starts to mount.
2-2 pitch is low. So now the count full with Kyle Schwarber waiting in that on-deck circle. reached for, and it's poked fouled on the right field line. They're doing the wave here at Citizens Bank Park. See, to me, it just, I feel like the wave would not go over well here in Philadelphia, but maybe I'm wrong.
And they seem to be executing quite nicely.
That's what I'm saying, like almost like they've done it before. Hit up the middle. Diving play, Kemp. Throw to first. Got him. To third goes Stott. Kemp saves a run. Vierling thought he was safe.
How about TK laying out to the backhand side? And the best part about it right there is the smooth transition, not only to his feet, but then dialing up enough on that throw to get a speedy Vierling. Outstanding effort from Tony Kemp, who finally has a chance to go out there and man second base every day.
And he's loving it.
Well, he's earned it. There's no question.
So now you got to get Schwarber takes a strike.
Take another look here. It's not enough just to put the glove on it, but the smooth transition to the feet, throw off the back foot to get enough on it.
Slider inside corner, and it's quickly 0-2. The Mariners leading the Twins. It's a 2-1 game, Seattle, through 6 innings at Target Field in Minneapolis. Game time temperature, 43 degrees. Schwarber's got a base hit. So on an 0-2 pitch, Schwarber fights it off. Coming in to score is Stott, and now it's 9-5. It is a relentless lineup, folks.
When you figure you got him 0-2, you might be able to start to try to change some eye level maybe with a fastball. You don't get it high up enough. You don't get it in enough. And a big, strong dude like Kyle Schwarber is able to fight you off and get it out there to the outfield.
Well, you think about the home run he hit in the very first inning, Dallas, and it was a pitch that was low.
Yeah.
Went down to get it. That pitch was top of the strike zone, and he covered that one. That's pretty impressive hitting.
Well, from top to bottom, right? That's exactly what you're talking about. Top to bottom, he's able to get on plane with a pitch with velocity at the upper part of the zone and then go down and sweep a ball out of the ballpark. That's a pretty good day.
Not a lot of guys can do that. Most hitters, even the great ones, have a hole somewhere, and it's usually up or down. Realmuto's 1 for 4.
The thing about Schwarber, too, you watch his setup, you watch his hands. And I was talking to him a while ago and said, I want to be like you when I play slow pitch softball, because that's what you look like up there with the hands relaxed, just kind of waiting for that watermelon to come in.
That's Stephen Vogt and Murphy coming over, and it drops off the netting just above the Phillies dugout. Ball bounces around a little bit. That's Zach Jackson getting loose for the A's. .22 pitches for Kirby Snead. You just don't want a reliever on opening day throwing 30-35 pitches. Realmuto fouls it back.
Well, look, all those guys down there are important and are valuable. with the ability to match up, especially a lefty. You'd hate to have a guy unavailable day 2.
Not close. So it's a full count.
Harper would be next. Don't want to see Harper hit in this inning. Schwarber takes off, pitch is not close. So the inning's going to continue, and Scott Emerson's going to come out. That's 5 walks now issued by A's pitchers today. So far, 3 of the 5 have scored.
A's fans, get to the Coliseum for our first weekend series at home against the Texas Rangers. The Rangers roll into town for a 3-game set against the A's Friday, April 22nd through April 24th. Scan the QR code to find your seats or visit athletics.com/tickets.
A's fans, they were unhappy, then they were happy, and now they're unhappy.
It's been a little bit of a roller coaster of emotion for him.
He's got this ball game to 7-5. So here's Harper. And Harper, big rip, fouls it back. We've seen Bryce Harper with the long, flowing locks. Those are gone.
He's got it high and tight.
Schwarber, Realmuto, the runners. That pitch misses now. Hey, a decent chunk of the 44,000 in attendance today have stuck around.
Well, they've been treated to some back and forth.
Harper hits one high in the air, but in the ballpark. Pache back. Pache waits and he's got it. So 2 runs, 2 big runs for the Phillies as we head to the 9th. Last shot for the A's. It's the Phillies 9 and the A's 5. Hey, make sure you join Brody and Stu. In-depth highlights, interviews, and analysis. It's A's post-game live, and it's coming up right after the game. Well, we're trying to give them something to talk about. Nine to 5 on opening day. He's got one more shot. It'll be Andrew Smith and Vogt against one of the new relievers for the Phillies. It's Corey Knebel, big right-hander, 6'3", 225-pounder. 4-0 last year, had 3 saves, a good ERA at 2.45. That came with the Dodgers in 27 games. Before that, some good years with the Milwaukee Brewers. In fact, he's saved 39 games for the Brewers in 17. He's had some injuries that have slowed him down a little bit, but the Phillies hope that they have their closer here in Corey Knebel, the 30-year-old right-hander.
Well, he's had 76 opportunities over the course of his career to lock the ball game down, has converted 60 of those into saves. And he's got some swing and miss. He struck out 34% of the batters he's faced over his career. That's 366 of 1,088 batters.
Huh. So he's a strikeout pitcher is what you're saying.
Yeah, and he's the guy who's going to force the issue. You know, try to limit the traffic as much as possible, especially coming out of the back end of a bullpen. You're the stopper. You're not trying to give away free passes. You'd like to have some swing and miss to go along with it.
Elvis today is 0 for 3. A couple of ground outs, and he reached on an error.
That big hammer.
Two-one pitch. There it is again, and this one caught the outside corner. So 2-2 the count. Knebel is pitcher number 5 on the day for the Phillies. All started with 6+ innings from Aaron Nola. 2-2 pitch, high fastball at 96 miles an hour, and Elvis Andrus swung through it.
Well, that right there is just textbook approach these days. You got that big spinner. We saw it at 79 miles an hour, back-to-back from Corey Knebel. And then right out of that same tunnel, here comes 96, tightly spun fastball.
Smith goes after the first pitch, drives it to right. Harper got it. So 2 away. So here's Stephen Vogt. The crowd rises to his feet, trying to help the Phillies grab an opening day victory. Vogt, pinch hit in the 7th inning, reached base and scored a run. First pitch floats in for a strike.
You see that wry smile on the face of Stephen Vogt. Don't know that he necessarily agreed with the strike call, and I tend to agree with Vogt.
Fastball just got a piece of it, barely. Boy, that's a tough one to lay off. 96, right at the letters, a little in. Such a hard pitch to lay off.
Especially after that high curveball called a strike, because now Knebel can go back to the well with an elevated fastball higher than high, or he can bounce that curveball, and it's going to seem like a mile apart to Stephen Vogt.
0-2 pitch. Went with the high fastball again. Vogt hangs in there and fouls it back. Remember to join us tomorrow for Game 2 of the series. First pitch Pacific time will be 1:05. 0-2 pitch. Here it is. High fastball. Vogt swings and misses. And that's the ball game. So opening day in Philadelphia goes to the hometown Phillies. And the A's will try to regroup, bounce back, and get after tomorrow behind their starting pitcher, Cole Irvin. Time of game today from Philadelphia was 3 hours and 14 minutes. And the attendance for opening day was 44,232. Final score today from Philadelphia, it's the Phillies 9 and the Athletics 5. It's time now for A's Post-Game Live, which is presented by Toyota. Here's Brody and Stu. Take it away, guys.